Yo, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Street Coder Nate, and in the last video we was talking about operators, and I was telling y'all that in this video we was gonna take that knowledge of operators, mix it in with some knowledge of conditionals, and then we're gonna equip our computers with the ability to make decisions. Can you imagine you talking to something, you're giving it commands, you're giving it some type of input, and it gives you and it decides what to do based on that input. That's almost like talking to a human. And so we're going to make our our software, our technology more intelligent by giving it this ability to decide. So once again, we're going to get into conditionals today, adding these logical statements to these conditions. We're creating conditions based on logical statements, based on the evaluation of those logical statements. Meaning, does that logical statement evaluate to true? Does that condition evaluate to false? You see, I said logical statement condition is the same thing. Does it evaluate to true? If it does, then do this. If it doesn't, then do this. That's what we're about to get into that. And so I was already saying, if it does this, then do this, and then if it does that, then do that. Well, let's get back here. Let's try let num1. Let's do let num1. Typing on the wrong side. Let num1 equal. Let me just move myself up just a little bit. Move that down. So let num1 equal. I could move me out. So I'm doing let num1 equal 12, and then let num2 equal 24. And so remember, we can write this logical statement, num1 less than num2. And that will evaluate out to true. Well, what if I wanted to do what if I wanted to, let's say, what if I wanted to do something specific if number 1 was less than number 2? Like, that's true. How would I write that in the code? Like, num1 is less than num2, do something specific. Else, do something other specific. Well, JavaScript kind of code, because the syntax to writing that is like this. If, when you put it around the condition, you don't got to say true here, and you put these curly brackets, and it says, if this evaluates to true, then run the commands that are between this curly brace and this curly brace. So we're going to write different commands right here, and these commands are just instructions that will run if num1 is less than num2. Else, there's a other set of commands that I want you to run if num1 is not less than num2. And so what happens is the program comes down here and it evaluates num1, 12, less than, okay, and then num2, well, 24, okay, well, then this evaluates out to true. Therefore, we hop in between these curly brackets right here, and then we start running these commands. And once we finish running these commands, we skip this entire else statement and we hop down here. Now, what if I flip this hoe like that? So now it says num1 is greater than. So this obviously results out to false. That goes to false, and therefore this if block gets skipped. That entire if block gets skipped, and what's get ran is this else statement right here. The if blocks get skipped, and then the else statement right here gets ran. And so all the code in between this else statement starts to run. And now we got our else statement. Cool. So this is how we make our decisions. And so let's think about it. So we got if num1 is less than num2, then we're going to do num1 plus, all right, num1 equals num1 plus 1. Else num1 equals num1 minus 1. So basically what I'm doing here is if number 1 is less than number 2. If number 1 is less than number 2. So number 1 is 12. Right? Number 1 is 12. And number 2 is 24. So obviously 12 is less than 24. So that evaluates to true. Therefore, we come in between these curly brackets. And as we see, there's only one line in between these curly brackets. Line 1, right? So we run num equals num1 plus 1, which now makes num1 13. We then skip this else statement right after, and we just continue the rest of the program. That's a simple way of looking at conditionals. Really. I'm giving you the intro. And from the intro, we're going to really get into different projects. But this is the intro, man. That's conditionals. That's all you got to do. Combine, or that's conditionals. Combine the operators, those logical operators, with the if and else, and you have now created logic. You have now created decision making. You have now created intelligence, right? And so we built up, man. We built up from creating variables and understand where they are being stored and being retrieved, as well as our program to writing comments and clean code, and then operators and conditionals. We really taking all this information and building up a way for us to really fully communicate and have a computer communicate back to us in a logical way. So with this information now that we can make decisions, we can write all of our commands and our procedures just as a long list of procedures. Or what we can do is create different segments of the procedure, basically like this part of the procedure handles this, and then this part of the procedure handles this. And when I need this specific functionality to happen, I call on that procedure. And so what's that's called is functions, right? And so we did all of this before. We was building up all of this this base before, because you have now the ability to write really complicated projects right now with the information you know. The thing is, like, it's just going to be ridiculously long and complicated. And so functions are going to help us take all of our commands and procedures that we want to tell the computer, and break it up into different logical steps and segments, and then call on those different functions later on to use the different functionality and procedures. So we're going to talk about that in the next video. So stay tuned. I'm excited. We're almost there, almost through the hard part and the boring part. We're going to get to the projects, I promise. And the project's going to be the fun part, but you got to learn how to communicate so that you can do the project. So we're almost there. We're going to get out of here. All right, peace.